Some people will complain about anything. Right now, Canada is dealing with something no generation before us has really experienced. It feels like a divorce from our southern neighbors. We're in a growing economic fight with the US, and Canadians are finally putting our focus on our own country and our allies. But now, some people are upset that there's too many tourists? Come on, give me a break. In today's video, I have two reports, one from Canada and one from the US. And once again, you'll see a huge difference on how each country is handling tourism. Before I jump in, today's backdrop comes from one of our viewers named Brian. He emailed me these photos from his hometown, and I gotta say, they look amazing. Before I started this channel, I didn't know much about small towns in Eastern Canada. I was siloed to my own province in British Columbia. But now, thanks to all your submissions, I'm learning a lot about my country. So thank you, Brian. And last shout out before we begin, to our newest channel members, thank you for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. I've been thinking about doing a Zoom call with you guys with anyone interested in talking about the current cross-border issues. So keep an eye out for a post soon on more details. All right, let's get into it.
It's insane with people. It's so many people.
Taking a toll on the tourist experience. As summer visitors to Banff face large amounts of foot and road traffic, and while they're trying all the time to enjoy the moment. Banff and Lake Louise tourism credits three factors to the steady climb of visitors this summer, including the strength of the US dollar, more Canadians choosing staycations, and the fact that Calgary is currently the fastest growing city in Canada.
There's something missing in this, and I think a lot of you will pick up on it right away. They completely ignore the big issue happening south of us. That issue is exactly why so many Canadians are choosing staycations, and it really bugs me when the media leaves out the underlying reasons. Yes, we are staying local, but don't forget to mention why. I've covered a few city TV reports before, and every time, I find myself asking, are they really doing a full job reporting for Canadians? In my opinion, not really. But putting that aside, I am glad to see more of us choosing staycations this year.
Although they fall short of mentioning the Canada Strong Pass, allowing free visits to national parks up to September 2nd. But for some...
Yes, absolutely. We probably wouldn't have come to Banff today had we not been able to just come through the park gates for free.
Was it reason for you two to come this way?
No, I just love my country. And honestly, I'd rather travel anywhere in Alberta and Canada.
I'm genuinely happy to hear comments like this from fellow Canadians. It shows that there are more of us that are standing up for Canada, instead of siding with the maple megas trying to tear us apart. Now, this brings me to a recent conversation I had with one of our viewers. They have some connections behind the scenes, and people who actually see the real travel numbers. What I was told is that the data that we're seeing right now doesn't reflect how bad it's actually getting. And when I say bad, I mean for the US. They said we should expect a major drop in travel to the US and a clear rise in local travel here in Canada. I'm talking about the numbers. We already know it's happening. But I think what's going to be the shocker is the actual numbers that we're going to see. I don't have the full details. That's all they could really tell me. But I'm looking forward to seeing when those numbers go public. And let's not forget, this decline is happening right in the middle of the US so-called peak summer season.
According to the town of Banff, they've seen a 6% year-to-date increase in park gate traffic as of July 31st. With the higher tourist numbers because of free park pass or not, the strain on the park is evident, with parking lots full, sidewalk traffic resembling downtown New York, and lineups to local shops.
It's insane with people. It's so many people. Can't find a parking place anywhere, nothing. So, I don't know, too much.
Took us like 30 minutes to find a parking, so it is very busy for a Wednesday, especially the long weekend just passed.
All right, here's my gripe, and the reason why I wanted to show this clip to the community. Why are some people still complaining? Complaining that it's too busy. Complaining that the local businesses are finally seeing some revenue. Because Canadians are actually supporting their own country. Come on, we've been pushing for this kind of movement for months, and now it's happening. We're upset now that it's working? Please let me know in the comments if you agree with this. Because from where I'm sitting, this is a massive win for Canada. Seeing Banff Street full, parking lots packed, shops buzzing with customers, that tells me that Canadians and even some international tourists are finally spending their dollars here instead of across the border. Yeah, it might take you longer to find a parking spot, and maybe you'll have to wait in a line or two. But I'll take that any day if it means that our local businesses are thriving. This is the domino effect. The more traffic means more dollars into Banff. More dollars means there's more ice cream sold, more souvenirs bought. And that means more jobs created. So seriously, why the hell are people still complaining? In my opinion, it's because they have a me attitude. I'm sorry for the rant. It just drives me off the wall and it really pisses me off. Let me know in the comments, am I overreacting or do you agree with me on this? All right, now that I got that out of my system, let's hear what this visitor from Texas has to say.
But for this traveler from Texas,
it's really not that bad. You talk about the traffic, it's not bad. Waiting in lines, not bad. Parking's, it hasn't been an issue for us at all. So
I guess it's all relative perspective, right? From where you come from to where you are.
True.
See, this Texan gets it. He seems like a kind of person who accepts the current situation and makes the most out of it. Doesn't strike me as a me type either. And on a side note, Mr. Texas, thank you for supporting Canada.
This is my third time in Banff, and we didn't have to wait at all.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It is beautiful every time we come.
If crowds are not your thing, some are recommending that you explore less popular trails. You visit during off-peak hours or bypass popular hangouts like Banff Springs, the gondola ride, or downtown. You know, all the fun spots.
I can't tell if this guy's trying to be sarcastic or just taking a jab because things are too busy. Anyway, even with the complaints and people being ungrateful for the direction Canada is heading, seeing Banff so full of life, with foot traffic and people, actually investing in our own country, it's really refreshing. It also reminds me of the conversation I had with one of our community members. I'm genuinely curious to see what the new travel data numbers show for both tourism in Canada and travel within Canada. Now let's take a look at the other side of the border, where it's dark, gloomy, tourist officials are begging, and the industry is on the brink of collapse.
Good evening, I'm Briggs LaSavage. Thanks for joining us. Dan has the night off. Tariffs on Canadian goods could increase tomorrow as threatened by President Trump. It's his most recent effort to pressure Canada into aligning with U.S. interests. But it's pressure that hasn't been well received by some of our Canadian neighbors. Northern News Now, Sophia Lauber joins us in studio here to share how soured political feelings are impacting business on the North Shore. Sophia?
Yeah, Bryce, today I spoke with business leaders in Cook County who share a border with Canada, and they tell me Canadian tourism is down. That's a drop being felt by the community, whose economy is 81% dependent on tourism.
Damn, 81%. That's a lot to rely on us Canadians, eh? I had to look it up. This report is actually out of Cook County in Minnesota. And let me remind you, this is the same state that complained about our wildfire smoke because it was ruining their summer. Meanwhile, Manitoba residents were literally fighting for their lives and their homes. Let's not forget, representatives from Minnesota and Wisconsin actually sent a letter complaining about the smoke ruining their summer plans. Well, you know what? Screw you. We remember Minnesota, and I doubt Canadians will ever forget the lack of empathy from your government officials. Anyways, this report is off to a great start for the US.
In her 29 years working at Java Moose Cafe in Grand Marais, Sarah Jorgensen Hallberg has gotten to know many of her Canadian neighbors. But this summer, instead of chatting with them at the shop, she's been hearing from them in her inbox.
Just saying, hey, we're not coming down right now. We're just going to wait some things out. And they're very kind about it. They're very respectful to us and to our business. And they know that it's not, and we know also that it's not personally us or the North Shore.
Canada's National Statistics Office reports that Canadians returning from U.S. road trips was down about 33% this past June compared to a year earlier.
I believe that a lot of the Canadian sentiment right now is circled around our current administration and some of the decisions that are being made. Definitely that has a high impact.
But Linda Jurek from the Cook County Chamber of Commerce adds it's hard to know for certain what's driving the decrease, as the weak Canadian dollar and high costs are also likely playing a role.
This too shall pass is what I'd like to say. It's going to pass.
And when
Seriously, Linda from the Chamber of Commerce of wherever you are, you started off so well. You acknowledged the political issues, and that's exactly what Canadians have been saying. It was the right call. But then, you put your foot in your mouth by blaming the exchange rate and high costs. That's not it, not even close. And here's my biggest question. How can you say it's hard to know for certain why there's a decrease? It's not brain science. It's your president. It's not that hard, Linda. You were almost there. And about that last comment, it's not a phase, and it's not something that's just going to pass. Even after your president is gone, the damage is already done. Trust is already broken. And for some of us, the damage won't be repaired in our lifetime. Which brings me to one final question about her. Who do you think she voted for? Let me know in the comments who you think Linda, from whatever Chamber of Commerce she's with, casted her ballot for.
When it does, Java Moose and other businesses are ready to welcome Canadian visitors with open arms.
I just know that they'll come back eventually, and that I fully respect them. I fully support their decisions in whatever anyone decides, and just know that we'll be here when they come back.
The Cook County Chamber also ran a campaign this spring welcoming Canadians in hopes of addressing some of that tension. Yeah.
So here we go again. Another marketing campaign. Another "we'll be here when you come back" message. I've now heard the same line from at least a half a dozen US border towns. And honestly, I'm starting to lose hope that they will ever understand why Canadians are pissed off. But in reality, they probably don't miss us as people. They miss the money. That's all it's ever been about. So what's the takeaway from today's video? Well, we just saw the reality of Cook County. Yeah, turns out they're struggling without us. But the bigger story is what's happening here in Canada. Tourism is shifting. Hotspots are getting busier. Shops are seeing more business, and more money is staying in our economy. Or in the international tourist case, more money is coming into our economy. This isn't the time to complain, everyone. If it takes you a few extra laps to find a parking spot because it's busier, so be it. See the bigger picture. Canada is rising up and the US is falling. I'm going to end it here, but I want to give you guys a quick heads up. In just a few days, I'll be having a conversation with one of our Canadian viewers who's currently living in the United States. And after hearing what he's been going through as a Canadian living down there, I think it's something that you all need to hear. So stay tuned. We both agreed to record the conversation, and I'll be sharing it with you as a video. It'll give everyone a fresh perspective compared to everything that we've been seeing lately. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to help get this message out to more people. And also share it with your friends. And if you're still here, check out the other videos that are showing up on your screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.